On January 1st, Calvary officially joined the Evergreen Association of the American Baptist Churches. This is a new affiliation for us as a church, and so we're taking the month of February to learn more about Evergreen as we anticipate welcoming Reverend Doug Aviles Bernal to Calvary on March 6th. Doug is the executive minister of Evergreen. So as we prepare to welcome him to our church, the Reverend Dr. Brian Henderson has agreed to talk with me today a little bit about his experience with Evergreen. Brian is the minister at First Baptist Church of Denver, and he is on the executive board of the Evergreen Association, serving as a representative for the Caucus. So Brian, thanks for having me in your home this evening, and thank you for the time that you're spending with Calvary.
Absolutely. Thank you. And it's always good to be with Calvary. Calvary is an extension of our family, so it's wonderful to be with you.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, my first question, Brian, is, you know American Baptist life really, really well. You've been involved in ABC life for many years. Why would you say it's important for a local Baptist church to be connected to our national denomination on a regional level? Why does that matter?
And I think I can answer that pretty succinctly. And I think what I'll say is something that others have heard me say before. I think one of the great things about our American Baptist life and why it's important for us to connect regionally as well as nationally is because there is far more we can do together than any of us can do on our own. And while we as American Baptists will see things differently, think about things differently, believe things differently, in truth, what we can do together is mission. And when we do mission together, we can accomplish far more than we can on our own. So that is my mantra, and I'm sticking to it.
It's a classic Brian line. we love that line. Let's talk a little bit about your own church's history with Evergreen. So how long has First Baptist Denver been a part of the Evergreen Association? And how long have you served as a representative on the Caucus?
So First Baptist has been a part of the First Baptist has been part of Evergreen since 2012, and I have been a part of the Caucus for the last 8 years, serving on the Caucus committee as well as serving on the executive committee for the region.
Okay. And can you briefly explain the caucus system? I know we'll figure it out as we go, but it's new to us, so tell us a little bit about that.
It is different and unique. The Evergreen Association is the only region within American Baptist life that is organized around ethnic caucuses. And the caucus system is designed so that not one people group within our regional family can outspeak or speak over any other group. So the caucus system allows us as a region to make sure that everyone around the tables has their voice heard. Yeah.
We look forward to being a part of that.
Yeah. And honestly, the caucus system, it is different, and it takes work to adjust to it. And part of the caucus system too, and the way Evergreen is designed, is that we function by consensus. It's not the traditional Robert's rules, it's not the traditional up and down votes. It's making sure that, again, everyone at the table has had an opportunity to be heard and to share what they're thinking about on any number of different subjects. So, yeah.
It sounds like that's one of the things that you value about Evergreen. What is something else that either you personally or that First Baptist values about Evergreen?
I think there are a number of things. One, there is just a natural affinity, theologically, socially, that First Baptist has felt since 2012 with Evergreen, and that sense of, for the region, there is a welcoming and affirming commitment, or a commitment to being welcoming and affirming, recognizing that even within a region such as Evergreen, not every congregation will necessarily be welcoming and affirming in the way that Calvary is or that First Baptist is, but there is a commitment to being together with that welcoming and affirming commitment that I think First Baptist honestly values very, very highly.
Yeah, yeah. What For us here at Calvary, it's new for us to be part of a region that is not geographically based. So it's taken some time for us to wrap our heads around this.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about how you and First Baptist have intentionally gotten involved with the region. How can we be involved when we're not geographically close to where it's located? How does that work? What does that look like?
Yeah, in some ways, First Baptist, like Calvary, was part of ABCRM. And so it took us a bit, as it is taking Calvary, to kind of adjust psychologically to the fact that, okay, we're connecting in a non-geographically based region, and yet in truth we really are geographically based because we have churches throughout California, up into the Pacific Northwest, down through Utah, and now here in Colorado. So in some ways we are geographically connected, but I also understand how it is still different. What we have done at First Baptist is we've encouraged our members to participate and to be involved. So we have been very proactive about making sure that we are sending folk to retreat and different meetings that are happening within the region. Not always, but often they happen in the greater Seattle area. We are making sure that we're sending folk to annual meeting. There have been a couple of years over the last 10 years where honestly, while we are as far away as we are compared to many others, we have sent probably just as many members to an annual meeting as some of our other larger churches in the region have. So we've been proactive about that. We've participated in mission trips and experiences and have sent folk on those. So in many ways, honestly, it doesn't feel as if we are geographically disconnected. Mm-hmm. And we really do feel as if this is who we are, and this is our American Baptist family. Mm-hmm. So First Baptist this coming year, as I suspect you and I know others know, will be hosting the annual meeting. So in some ways, that's going to really kind of help us here in Colorado feel very connected to the Evergreen Association family, because folk are going to be coming to us, which is exciting. And people are excited to be coming to Denver, so yeah.
And now, First Baptist is not the only Evergreen congregation in Colorado.
I know, it's amazing.
So that's an exciting thing for us at Calvary to think about. And some of you may not know the history that Calvary and First Baptist share, both certainly in the past. First Baptist is Calvary's mother church, if you will. Our church here at Calvary started from a group of members that split off from First Baptist and way back in the 1800s. And so we share that history, but also Brian is my predecessor. He was the senior pastor at Calvary Baptist right before I came. We worked together alongside one another. And so we have strong connections already. And I just want to ask you, Brian, as a friend and colleague, how do you see this one more layer of our partnership, if you will? How do you see us both being a part of Evergreen, perhaps strengthening the relationship that Calvary and First have?
Yeah, I think, you've already said it so well, Anne. Calvary and First Baptist do share a history historically. And in truth, we do share a recent history. And in reality, the recent history that we share has been a history that has been different, and I think we've had to grow into this new sense of connection. But I'm excited to know that now, today, we are two congregations that share not only a recent history, not only do we share a history that goes back into the 19th century, but we are sharing a regional history and connection now that I think will only continue to be really meaningful. In the last couple of years, First Baptist and Calvary have connected together around a couple of different events and have worked together side by side, literally in the kitchen and in the fellowship hall of First Baptist, serving meals and connecting with folk in need. And there have been folk from Calvary that have visited First Baptist and folk at First Baptist that have visited Calvary. So I'm excited to see how we may continue to creatively find some ways of connecting together. And we have the regional family connection now. We have a commitment to being the welcoming and affirming communities that we are. So I'm excited to see what we might partner together to do. And honestly, next fall when the annual meeting of Evergreen is here in Denver. In some ways, First Baptist has been slated as the host congregation, but I think in some ways it would be good for us to see us as two congregations here in Denver welcoming our regional family together.
That sounds wonderful. I really value you, Brian, as a friend, as a colleague. I admire your ministry at First Baptist. So grateful for all that you all are doing to serve our greater Denver community. And I look forward to our continued partnership with Evergreen.
And thank you. And that goes both ways. I am grateful for you, for your leadership, for your friendship. And I'm excited that we are still colleagues together in this thing we call church ministry.
Yes.